Thank you to today's awesome Patreon sponsors, Brigadus and AndrewAJT. Hello everyone, my name is AndrewAJT. Today we're going to discuss 5 things I think Jagex should do to improve account security and customer support. These are 2 issues that are very much related and definitely talked about a lot with this game, and these will be in no particular order. And keep in mind that I understand that Jagex has a tough job and a lot of these things are easier said than done, but I really think they should be added. They have talked about some of these already, but these are the 5 that I really think should be a top priority. And I'm also not a cybersecurity expert, so I'm open to being corrected on any details. And remember, these are just my opinions. With that being said, let's get started. So number 5 is having a better way to communicate with Jagex and customer support. I asked you guys what do you think Jagex should do about this topic, and this was by far the biggest thing people brought up in some form. There's not really a great way to get a hold of them because it's hard to have some sort of instant conversation with them. I wish there was some sort of live chat option, or maybe a phone number you could call, or maybe a Discord call you could join. Something where you could have some instant feedback on your support query and not have to wait for a long response or anything. Like, why can't we message the Jagex support on Twitter? Their DMs are closed. You should be able to message them and have a conversation with someone about your support issue. Of course, there are ways to contact them, but there really needs to be some sort of live conversation option where you could get your issue handled right away, and this would really make things much easier for everybody. At the very least, we need to have some sort of phone number we could call, even if we had to wait on hold for a little bit. I think this would also be way more fair than the current system, where often you see people having to make a Reddit post or a tweet and hope that it blows up to really get some good support for their issue. If everybody could get a hold of Jagex very easily, it would be much more fair. Number 4 is to allow for case-sensitive passwords and also symbols in our passwords. This would allow for much more complex passwords because it would give you way more options for every character. Right now it doesn't make a difference whether or not the letters are lowercase or uppercase, and this makes the passwords a little bit easier to guess, and not being able to use some symbols as well for even more complex passwords makes them relatively simple. It's not really a huge deal because you can still get a pretty good password as it is, but I can't think of a single other website or game that I've visited or played in 2020 that did not already have this feature. It just feels so outdated, and this is something that should have been done a long time ago. To me, this seems like this is a really simple and obvious improvement. Number 3 is to return lost items to the original owner. So this is something that Jagex doesn't do very often, and I can understand why, because you'll probably have people trying to take advantage of the system unfairly. But if there's a situation where the items could be returned to the original owner and removed from the account of whoever took them, then I don't see why it couldn't be done. At least in some scenarios, it couldn't be done every time. But if it's a clear enough case where it's very obvious what happened, then I don't see why they shouldn't be. And the important thing would be to not duplicate the items, so the items would have to be transferred rather than copied to make sure you're not duplicating any items. They would have to develop a really good system for this, but I think it should at least be attempted. I'm not sure what other games do about this, like other MMORPGs, so if you guys know in the comments and if there are ways they could do this successfully, definitely let me know. Number 4 is one I've been saying for a very long time, and many other people as well, and that is adding an Authenticator Delay that would be optional. So right now, if someone has access to your email, they could potentially disable your Authenticator, which is really scary to think about, and I don't see why there couldn't be an optional, maybe 3 or 4 day delay before they could actually do this to access your account. This would be such a nice feature to really have some time to work things out and recover your account before this could actually take place. Now, Jagex has addressed this in the past, and I will link some of the blogs down below where they have, which I recommend you read. The one from October 2019 says that they would rather add backup codes in 2020, but we're almost into October and we still don't have those, and I feel like Authenticator Delay would be a much more simple solution. And if anything, why can't we have both as well? Both would be very good to have, actually. So yeah, they could add backup codes and that would be a very good thing, but also add Authenticator Delay and make them optional. And I know there would be the problem of people losing their phone or something, or getting a new phone and forgetting to disable it, but if it's an optional feature, those people really couldn't complain because they're the ones that enabled it, and they would just have to wait the few days or whatever to get back on their account no big deal. Even if it was possible that I would have to deal with an inconvenience like that if I lost my phone or something went wrong, it would still be much nicer knowing that my account has that extra layer of protection, because if it's harder for me to access it during an unusual circumstance, it would be much more difficult for a hacker to access it during any time. Number 5 is a unique idea I had, and this is some more public awareness campaigns in-game to promote account security that Jagex could do. There are many players who are not making full use of the account security features that we already have. For example, not everyone has a bank PIN or authenticator or two-step on their email, and maybe some people are sharing their account with other people. This isn't necessarily Jagex's fault, but they could be doing more to promote some of these account security features. You might laugh at it now because of its simplicity and just skip your way through it for the 10K, but the Stronghold of Security update in 2006 was actually a very good update for teaching the community how to better protect their account and what to look out for. I remember going through it and reading everything when it came out, and I probably learned a lot back then. So I think we should have some sort of new version of that, maybe a quest or something modern where you could really teach people how to avoid these things and how important it is to have these features on their account, because they only work if you use them, and it's very important to do so, and it would make their job easier as well at Jagex. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas of what they could do with this. So there we have it. Those are 5 really important things I think Jagex should do to improve customer support and account security. Do you agree with my list? What would you change? What would you add? What do you think they should do, or do you have any ideas to branch off what I was saying? You can also check out my account security guide in the end screen and the description. Remember that Jagex can only do so much. It's also very important for us to be careful and protect our accounts as well. Definitely hit the like button if you enjoyed and sub if you haven't already. You can also join my clan chat up on screen. You can join my Discord server down below. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch down below. And if you want to support the channel even further, you can check out my Patreon page in the end screen. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all on Tuesday.